Rwanda is one of the only so-called least developed countries who have committed the significant reductions in emissions but still haven't escaped from the raging impacts of climate change on its economic development.
Zambia's electricity system is dominated by hydropower, considering Zambia's energy mix and planned hydropower projects. But the impact of climate change on water resources in Zambia could be of great impact on electricity supply if no deliberate efforts are put in place to diversify electricity supply.
In northern Nigeria, for instance, over 2,000 households were displaced from flooding and drought caused by climate change in just 1 year, 2021.
Behind Uganda's lush beauty, climate change is looming large, dubbed the Pearl of Africa for its stunning nature. This verdant East African nation is struggling to deal with the prolonged dry season and more intense rainfalls, which have become the new normal.
Water scarcity has become an increasing problem, and in many major water bodies have had extreme drops in water levels, including Lake Victoria, Lake Tanganyika, Lake Jipe, and Lake Rukwa. Tanzania agricultural sector, which employs over half of the population, is particularly vulnerable as farmers are predominantly dependent on rain-fed agriculture.
In Malawi, the economic impacts of climate change have resulted in more girls being married young, with 1.5 million girls at risk of being childbirths in the coming years.
Malaria accounted for 10,400 deaths in Ethiopia at its peak in 2000. Now, yearly deaths from a disease are less than half that figure, but simultaneously, temperature changes and different rainfall patterns mean malaria is emerging in highland communities previously protected from a disease. Therefore, climate change has made elimination of malaria in Ethiopia a distant hope.
Kenya is ranked as the 31st most vulnerable country to climate change among 192 UN countries. Kenya was faced by a serious drought issue that led to Kenyans joining hands to save fellow Kenyans ravaged by hunger in 2011. Human beings and animals died. If nothing is done about climate change, such a scenario will not come as a surprise.
Climate change will exacerbate poverty unless vulnerable populations, particularly the poorest in Africa, are assisted in building climate-resilient livelihoods.
People are dying from hunger and thirst caused by food and water insecurity. This is against all human rights. Women and children are the most vulnerable in the face of climate change, and to build their resilience.
Emphasis should be put in empowering women and girl child in Africa. Women and girls are increasingly at risk of child marriage, domestic and sexual violence, also human trafficking as a result of effects of climate change.
Because evidence shows that empowering women and advancing gender equality can lead to advancement in food and economic security at both household and national level. It can also lead to a more environmentally conscious decision making. Climate change is more than a pandemic because the sad truth is it has no vaccine.
The greatest irony of climate change is that countries least responsible for it will be worst affected.
The world polluters should know if fossil-based industrialization means wealth to them, to the most vulnerable in the face of climate change, it's a death sentence.
In Rwanda, climate change is real and it's a threat to all of us in Africa.
In Tanzania, climate change is real and is a threat to all of us in Africa.
In Zambia, climate change is real and it is a threat to all of us in Africa.
In Uganda, climate change is real and it's a threat to all of us in Africa.
Climate change is real and it is a threat to all of us in Africa.
Climate change is real and is a threat to all of us in Africa.
Above all,
and above all,
above all,
we need climate justice.
We demand climate justice.
We want climate justice.
We call for climate justice.
We demand for climate justice.
We want climate justice for Africa.